Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nicholas Malson speaking, and welcome back to yet another episode of my podcast where you and I will hopefully smile once again. If this is your first time visiting this podcast, welcome, and I hope you will enjoy this episode. If you are a returning listener, welcome back, and it's always a pleasure to see you once again. I hope you will also enjoy this episode. Just to remind you, the purpose of this podcast is to either focus on optimistic things whilst not ignoring the pessimistic ones, or just talking about some good or nice things that have happened recently. The main focus here is optimism and positivity. After all, the world is a cruel and unjust place, but we can always enjoy the sunsets, right? Before we start, once again, would like to thank Anchor.fm for helping me distributing this episode in multiple platforms at once, such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Breaker. This podcast is also available on YouTube, but I publish the episodes there manually. But Anchor.fm helps me out doing most of the stuff. Pretty much automatically, I guess. And I would like to thank this platform for doing so. And once again, just to remind you, I'm not sponsored by this service. I just think they are worth giving a shot if you have something to say or if you want to make your own podcast. So give it a shot. The best way to contact me or communicate with me will be via YouTube or email. If you want to make a public comment with a chance of it to be read out in next episode, feel free to visit my YouTube channel. It's literally called Smile Once Again Podcast with the same logo you may have seen already. And leave a comment in one of the videos, and I will do my best to read it out. If you want a more anonymous or business-related communication, feel free to leave an email. My email address is smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. That's smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. No extra characters apart from the @ symbol, all lower case letters, and all one word. Should be simple and straightforward. So that's pretty much what I meant to say, as per usual. And with that being said, let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, by the time I'm recording this, it is 11:40 a.m. Another Sunday morning is coming to a close. It is the 23rd of January 2022. The month is almost over already, which is unbelievable, as per usual. I think today may be a bit of a shorter episode, and it's mainly because this morning has started very, very strangely, and health-wise, I am not feeling 100%, so we'll just have to see how I am going to feel throughout the day and throughout the recording of this episode. I just want to make sure that despite my current condition, I want to make sure that you at least have some kind of entertainment prepared for this fine Sunday afternoon. So, basically, this particular event that has happened today has actually given me an inspiration for today's episode. So, let's start from the beginning. So, I woke up with no particular issues. I felt really well. I have, woken up. I've done the usual morning chores, such as, getting up, making the bed and going to the bathroom, wash myself up as is. But then when I took a seat at the desk, my back started hurting really, really badly. And, it was so bad, I could barely stand up. And it was a very, very bad feeling. I wasn't exactly sure what was happening. So when I took a stand, basically. I got up, barely. I walked back to my bed, and I just laid down. The pain has calmed down as well. So I was like, okay, something is not right. I have not felt like this before. It was really, really scary. I'm thinking, well, what could be the reason? Until I realized that yesterday, which was Saturday the 22nd of January, I may have taken too much time sitting on the computer and I just didn't keep an eye on the posture. So I think that that's a really decent explanation, because that exactly was the case. I didn't do any, exercising, unfortunately. I was just simply dedicating my time to, a potential session of Dungeons and Dragons, which has unfortunately cancelled. But instead, I just spent time with a friend of mine, played some video games, and enjoyed a bit of conversation. And then after that, I was just doing some housework. I was doing some cooking, and then I was just watching some videos, and then I went to bed. So I think because the whole day was pretty much sedentary, I just, I think I just didn't keep an eye on it, and then when I woke up, I think it's probably because this bad posture caused this nuisance, and here we are. Now, obviously, this is a bit worrying because, how am I going to enjoy the rest of the day with this pain? Well, this is where I've decided not to give up, because I had thoughts of just simply laying on the bed until it calms down. But then I'm thinking, well, that's just the whole day is gonna be wasted, and I want to, I want to record the podcast. I want to give you, ladies and gentlemen, some entertainment. So I decided to fight it. So it was everything I was doing was done as smoothly as possible, and I was just trying to think, like, well, what's gonna happen, and how to get this sorted out, at least temporarily. Well, I was starting with my mindset, right? I was trying to gather some motivation and some optimism. I was thinking, okay, this is just temporary, everything will be okay, do not panic, everything will be fine. Just, get up slowly, but try not to spend too much time sitting down. Like, I was laying down, and I've tried to carefully, but swiftly, get up. And that's what I did. So I didn't spend too much time sitting down. From laying down, I sat down, and then without any hesitation, I started slowly getting up. Like, I stood up. Okay. Did I feel pain? Well, a little bit, but it was manageable. I was like, okay, let's slowly get onto the desk. Maybe I've got some medicine that can help me out. Okay, I've got some paracetamol. To those who don't have paracetamol in their country, I think it's actually a worldwide thing. Yeah, what am I talking about? So paracetamol, or pretty much aspirin, like painkillers, pretty much. That's what it is. So if you don't have paracetamol, it's basically a painkiller. So, okay, I have some painkillers. Okay, I've got some vitamin D's. That's good. Okay, let's drink it up. I was like, okay, should be alright. Let's give it a few minutes. And I was like, okay, I think I'm feeling a bit better. Let's try and take a seat. I sit down. A couple of more seconds later, the pain comes back. I was like, okay, alright, this is a bit painful, but it is manageable. How do I make this better? And here's where another idea comes in. I remember I've got some pillows, in the bed. They're not the very soft ones, but it's like a faux leather ones, and they're pretty big. If I place them vertically at the back of my chair, it will help me to keep my back straight. And I'm like, okay, I think this will work, at least for today. So let's give it a shot. So I put the pillow at the back of my chair, trying to make sure it's standing there comfortably. Okay, I think it looks good. I think in my mind, and I try to once again just carefully take a seat and just lay my back on the pillow, and it works. And this is how I sit down right now, whilst recording this episode. How do I feel? I feel a bit more comfortable. I still feel a bit of discomfort on the back, but it's not like very painful. It feels okay. And I think this will do for now. Of course, I will try and do something else just to make things even better. I may just try and do some like stretches just to see maybe something will kind of like work itself out. Maybe I just need to do some stretches just to kind of like relieve the tension at the back, or something like that. I was trying to like find some advice, and someone was advising to do planking. I was like, no way in hell am I going to do planking in this condition. This is not happening. This is going to make my back even worse, and I don't want to do that. Um, but there were other ideas that can potentially work. But for now, I think what I need to do is just do everything slowly and carefully, with hopes that by the next day it will be better. But certainly, this did scare me out. So, with that in mind, this is what I have been thinking about. Sedentary lifestyle is not great. You need to make sure that you have a bit of activity in your life. If you don't want to exercise, then at least go for a walk. Walking around definitely helps. Sitting all day is definitely painful, and it's definitely going to harm you, especially if you don't, look after the way you sit. Make sure that your posture is correct. I mean, I understand that sometimes, or most of the times, you cannot avoid it, especially if you work in a sedentary lifestyle, like, office work or something similar. And if you do have a sedentary lifestyle, make sure you don't sit for long periods of time. Maybe once in an hour, just stand up for a few minutes, maybe walk around the campus or the office or wherever you are. Just find an excuse just to stand up for a little bit, because if you just keep sitting down for a very long time, it's just not going to help you out. Um, yeah, and exercising is definitely something that I'll need to put down in my to-do list. As a matter of fact, I just recently had like this spark of inspiration. I want to hit the gym again. Maybe not right now. Hopefully next week I can do that, or definitely the week after the next, because next week something else is happening, which I will talk about in a minute. And yeah, I think this is just a wake-up call, thinking, well, do I really want to sit down all the time? No, I don't really want to. I need to be extremely careful right now. So, as I'm going through stage 2 of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I need to definitely look at, increasing the security and, protection of myself and my surroundings. I think that the chair that I currently have is a part of a problem, because it's very uncomfortable and it's impossible to adjust it. Like, there are levers or levers, however you call them, like that just don't work. Like, for example, I'm just currently trying to like press any buttons, just trying to readjust it, and nothing works. Like, none of the levers actually work, or levers, sorry. Um, but yeah, definitely need to invest in a better chair, which I hope I will be able to do at some point. Maybe next week. Let's see how this goes. Um, but yeah, please look after yourselves, guys. This is not a joke. Like, having a pain in the back can definitely limit your movements quite significantly. So yeah, just look after yourselves, and I hope you are feeling well. I do hope that you are feeling healthy, or if you don't feel healthy, I do hope and wish for your speedy recovery. So yeah, that's pretty much how things are going right now, and I do hope I get better soon. I will let you know. So just letting you know, next week It's going to be an interesting episode. Hopefully, you will enjoy it. It is going to be another conversation, so I'm not going to be on my own. We have already settled for a day where we will record and what we're going to talk about, and I see the potential of this episode being great. So it's going to be 3 people, including myself, that are going to be participating in this conversation. So I'm expecting a lot of interesting input from all of us. So we'll just have to see how things are gonna go. And stay tuned. The episode should be released on Sunday. However, I'm not going to publish it like right on Sunday. I think I'm going to schedule it for publishing on Sunday. Because normally what I do is I just simply record the episode on Sunday. I render it on Sunday, and then I publish it also on Sunday. But what's going to happen is that the recording is going to happen hopefully on Monday, which will be tomorrow. And then I will dedicate the week for editing, just making sure that everything sounds as okay as possible. And then probably on Thursday or Friday I will schedule it for the episode to be published on Sunday. So hopefully on Sunday next week at midday British time, you should have the episode available on the platforms mentioned before. But just to remind you, it's YouTube, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and Breaker. So stay tuned, and I hope you will enjoy the following episode. So the reason why I've decided to do that is I am expecting to travel locally. I will be going somewhere else. Not that far away, so it's literally going to be the city or the town nearby. I'm just willing to, let's say, reminisce about the past, because I'm going back to the city town where I used to live before, only for a few years, but I really enjoyed that town. Hopefully it'll be a fun time, and I'm also seeing someone there, and I hope this will go great as well. I will let you know how it all went when I come back, hopefully with some interesting things to talk about. It's just nice to finally get an opportunity just to travel locally. I have traveled last month, but it was a proper journey. I was going to Switzerland, and it was a great experience. I have already talked about it, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But this time it's just local traveling, because this is something I wanted to do for quite a while, just to visit the towns and cities that I was interested in, and I don't have to go to a different country for that. So we'll just see how this goes. It's not far away, so it's gonna be a quick journey, and maybe I'll stay there for a couple of days. We just need to see how this is gonna work. And that's my plan. And once again, on the episode after the next one, if I'll have some news about it, I will, of course, let you all know, and perhaps reflect on it as well, just so you could get some positive affirmations or some positive advice from it, just so you could, smile once again, I guess. That's pretty much it. And it's been 20 minutes already. Can't believe it, but here we are. As I was saying, I think today's episode is going to be a bit shorter, and apologies about that. I know I usually tend to record for a little bit longer, but I honestly, even though I feel a bit better now, but I just need to make sure that I will feel better throughout the rest of the day. But I'm glad that I had the opportunity to at least talk about something. And I think this is where I will conclude today's recording. So, I would like to thank you all for listening to this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it despite being short. I hope you will have the great rest of this Sunday. I hope you will have the great week coming up. As it is the final week of January already. I know it's crazy, but here we are. Time flies fast. I also hope that I've made you smile. If I didn't, I'm sorry. I hope you will enjoy the episode that will be coming up. And once again, life is indeed a cruel and unjust place, but we always have the opportunity to enjoy the sunsets. Thank you once again for your support. It is always appreciated. I'm Nicholas Malson, and I wish to speak to you all in the next episode. Take care and goodbye.